Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Prime Math Zoom. Now, in this episode, we will be learning how to create the table of specifications that we need to use when we're developing assessment instruments. Now, I know that we might have some issues in doing this and we have been having challenges for a very long time, but let us dive right in and see how much we can learn. What is a table of specification? Well, the TOS is a tool that we can use to ensure that a test or assessment instrument measures the content and the thinking skills that the test intends to measure. So let us get right into the calculations on the TOS and also how we can organize the TOS. So we're going to start with this table. In this table, we're going to have the instructional objectives. We're going to have the time spent on the topic written in minutes. We're going to have the percent of class time spent on the topic, number of test items, and for this, you as the teacher can select the number of test items you wish to use. So I wish to assess my students using 5 items. So I have 5 here. We have lower levels, and the lower levels are remembering and understanding. The higher levels are applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Now, for your levels, you can use DOK 1, 2, 3, however you wish to describe or define your different levels of thinking that the students will need to achieve or you're testing for in this test. So the objectives that I'll be assessing my students on are solve up to 2-step word problems involving addition and subtraction, read and write numbers in numerals and in words, and use expanded notation up to 4-digit numbers. So I'll be using 3 objectives. Let us move on over to the time spent on the topic. Now, this means the number of minutes you spent teaching this particular objective. So for this objective, I spent 30 minutes. For the second objective, I spent 15 minutes. For the third objectives, I spent 30 minutes. And for this column here, you want to find the sum of all the minutes spent on the objectives, and this will be 75 minutes. So 30 plus 15, 45 plus 30, 75. So we have 75 minutes in total here. Let us talk about how to calculate the percent of class time spent on the objective. So this is how we calculate the percentage of class time spent on the objective or the topic. So we're going to use this formula. Time spent on objective divided by total time multiplied by 100. So the time spent on the objective is 30 minutes and the total time is 75 minutes. When we find the quotient here, we'll multiply that by 100 and that will give us 40%. So 40% of time is spent on this particular objective. Now that we have worked this out, we would come up with 40% of class time spent on this objective. So now I'm going to give you a chance to work out the percent of class time spent on the second objective and also the third objective. All right, so in our calculation, we would come up with 20% of class time spent on the second objective and 40% of class time spent on the third objective. In this here, we must ensure that the percentage when sum gives us 100%. So let's move on now to the number of test items. I know that this is always a little difficult. It's always a little problem to decide how many test items I must put on this objective or as used to assess this objective or so on. So this is how we're going to solve it. All right, so let us work it out. This is how we calculate the number of items on each objective. So we're going to use this formula. Percentage of time spent on the objective multiplied by the total number of items. So here we have 40% of time spent on a particular objective, and we'll multiply that by 5, and that will give us 2 items. Now that we have calculated how to decide the number of items on each objective, for the first objective we will have 2 items. I will now give you a chance, teachers, to work out the second and the third objective. All right, so for the second objective, we have 1 item, and for the third, we have 2 items. And remember, we said we want to do 5 items on this test. So at the bottom here, we must ensure that all these are added up to 5. Let us move on to the column where the levels are. Now you can decide how many lower level items you want and how many higher level items that you want. In so doing, you will always place them here. So for the first objective, I want a lower level item testing the objective, and it will be a multiple choice. So I have 1 multiple choice. For that same objective, I will also have a higher level item, and it will be in the form of a short answer, and I will just place it right here in the higher level column. For the second objective, I wish to assess it using 1 short answer, because remember, it's only 1 item I need here. And for the third objective, I'm going to use a lower level multiple choice question and also a higher level short answer question. At the end, we must ensure that the number of lower level items and the number of higher level items gives a total of 5. So we have 2 lower level items and 3 higher level items, and 2 plus 3 gives us 5. So yes, we have 5 items. Thank you for exploring with me today, teachers. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to take it easy.